April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. My name is Morgan St. James. I've been making a series of videos to highlight various stories about child abuse in the hope that it will make people more aware that they have to get involved. Help prevent child abuse, not just in April, but all year long. This is a little bit of the story of Bella Capo, an abuse victim, survivor, and very strong woman. Bella grew up as the abused child of a crime boss. Looking at their nice home in San Diego, no one would have ever suspected the reality of Bella's life. Bella writes in her book, "Life at home was such a hell that I was suicidal from the time I was 4 years old. That was when I began to pray to Satan to take my life, because I knew God wouldn't. I knew God wanted to save me, but being me was so hard." She writes, "I was in the 3rd grade when my friend Heidi's older brother pulled out porn magazines and made us mimic the photos. He made us believe we were the ones who were wrong and bad things would happen if we told anyone, so I was terrified to tell my parents. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and told them. The police got involved, but no arrests were made. My father was feared by many. The family moved suddenly. I am certain he used his power, connections, and influence to achieve their sudden flight. As for the disinterest of the police department, it only reinforced in my little girl head that people like my father could do anything they wanted. He resolved problems in his own way. That was before I became the object of his abuse." The memories were hard for Bella, but she said, "I'd been naive enough to think I'd already experienced my father's worst rage. When I was 11, my father went out of town or out of the country, sometimes for days at a time. My mother was in rehab, and alone in the huge house, I decided to throw a party while he was gone. Bad decision. The older kids destroyed the house, and he came home earlier than scheduled and went nuts. I endured the beating of my life. He picked me up by my hair, called me a slut, and kicked me all over my body with his steel-toed boots. Then he tossed me from room to room, kicking me all the while. I flew through the air as though I weighed nothing. He dropped me hard and picked me up again, threw me up in the air, and when I landed, slammed me with full-blown punches to the face." Bruised from the beating, I visited my mother in rehab in California. When she saw me, she reported it to the police. I was sent to a foster home after the visit, and for the first time experienced what I guessed was a normal life. It didn't last. My father somehow used his influence again, and I was taken from a woman I'd come to love and put back into the abusive environment. I pleaded with my social worker to help me. A kind and caring social worker got Bella into what appeared to be a great shelter and rehab facility in Malibu, California, which is where she met award-winning actress Ally McGraw, who became a positive influence on her life until this day. However, what they didn't know was the real agenda of Team House was to brainwash the children. Bella escaped and went to live with her mother, who was now out of rehab. Life was not kind to Bella, but she is a fighter and survivor. She endured an abusive husband with mob ties, attempted kidnapping, no protection from the police. She became a white woman boss in the Crips who protected her. She received death threats from her husband and went into hiding via the Victim Protection Program. The fight has never ended. She recently battled to save her daughter's life and brought non-cooperating public service departments together to do so. She lectures on mental health and is a certified PTSD counselor. As a result of everything she endured, Bella has lifelong PTSD, but she doesn't let that stop her. With the help of Dennis N. Griffin and Morgan St. James, her co-authors, she tells her story in No More Crying Angels. Why the title? Even as a child, she had to get past being able to shed tears to survive. She had a crying angel tattooed on her shoulder to cry for her. A wonderful day for Bella was the day she was able to cry. Her proudest achievement is the online movement she established, now on Facebook. La Bella Mafia offers help and support to victims of abuse of all ages, both men and women. The Bellas, as they are called, have helped thousands and should be checked by any abuse victim in need of advice or connecting with those who have walked in their shoes. The link for this wonderful website is http://bit.ly/lbm-facebook. This is Morgan St. James. Thank you so much for watching. You know, after working with abuse survivors to write their memoirs, or to help them write their memoirs, I've become an advocate for abuse awareness and prevention. Please, don't look the other way if you see something happening. Without awareness, there is no prevention.